The old radio tower hummed quietly in the darkness, its metal frame reaching toward the star-filled sky like a giant finger pointing its secrets. Dr. Maya Rodriguez sat alone in the small control room, her eyes fixed on the glowing screens that showed waves and patterns from deep space. She had been doing this job for 3 years now, listening for signals from other worlds. But tonight felt different somehow. Maya took a sip of her cold coffee and rubbed her tired eyes. The clock on the wall showed 2:47 a.m. Most people were fast asleep in their warm beds. But she was here in this quiet place, surrounded by machines that could hear whispers from millions of miles away. Her job was to watch for anything unusual, anything that might mean someone else was out there among the stars. The mountains around the small research station were completely silent. No cars, no people, just the soft wind through the pine trees and the steady beeping of the equipment. Maya liked the peace of it all. During the day, the place was busy with other scientists and visitors, but at night it was just her and the vast universe. She had always been curious about space. Ever since she was a little girl looking up at the night sky from her grandmother's backyard. Her grandmother used to tell her stories about the stars, how each one might have planets with people living on them. Maya never forgot those stories. And they led her to study astronomy in college and eventually to this job as she checked the readings on her computer. Something caught her attention. One of the screens showed a pattern that looked different from the usual cosmic noise. Wasn't random like the signals that came from dying stars or spinning galaxies. This pattern had a rhythm to it, almost like someone was trying to send a message. Maya leaned forward, her heart beating faster. She had seen thousands of signals over the years, but nothing like this. The pattern repeated every few seconds, and it was getting stronger. She quickly started recording it and began checking all her equipment to make sure everything was working properly. The signal was coming from somewhere close, much closer than the distant stars she usually monitored. It seemed to be coming from inside the solar system, maybe even from somewhere near Earth. Maya felt excited and nervous at the same time. This could be the discovery she had been waiting for her whole life. She picked up her phone to call her supervisor, but then stopped. What if she was wrong? What if it was just some new kind of interference from a satellite or a military test? She decided to wait and study the signal more carefully before telling anyone about it. For the next hour, Maya watched the pattern grow stronger and stronger. The signal was definitely artificial, definitely made by some kind of intelligence. But then, something strange happened. All the lights in the control room flickered, and the computers made weird buzzing sounds. The power seemed to be having problems. Maya looked out the window and saw something that made her freeze. A bright light was moving slowly across the sky, but it wasn't moving like a plane or a satellite. It was wobbling like something was wrong with it. The light was getting bigger and brighter. It was heading toward the forest behind the research station. She grabbed her flashlight and jacket and ran outside. The cold mountain air hit her face, but she barely noticed. The strange light was now clearly visible and it was definitely coming down. As Maya watched, the light disappeared behind the trees, and she heard a sound like thunder rolling across the valley. Without thinking, Maya started running toward the forest. Her flashlight beam danced ahead of her as she pushed through the trees and bushes. Branches scratched at her clothes, and she stumbled over roots and rocks, but she kept going. Whatever had crashed, she needed to see it. After about 10 minutes of difficult hiking, Maya saw a glow coming from up ahead. She slowed down and moved more carefully, not sure what she might find. As she got closer, she could see that several trees had been knocked down, and there was something metallic reflecting her flashlight beam. Maya stepped into a small clearing and gasped. There, partly buried in the soft earth, was something that definitely didn't belong on Earth. It was about the size of a small car, but it had a smooth, curved shape that seemed to flow like liquid. The surface was dark, but had a strange shimmer to it. Like oil on water, her scientific mind told her to be careful, but her curiosity was stronger. She walked slowly around the object, studying it from every angle. There were no sharp edges or visible seams, just smooth curves that seemed to bend light in impossible ways. This was definitely not human technology. Maya noticed what looked like an opening on one side of the craft. The edges were jagged, as if something had torn through the metal. She pointed her flashlight inside and saw what looked like a small compartment with strange controls and displays. But what made her heart skip was the figure lying motionless on what appeared to be some kind of seat. The being looked almost human, but not quite. It was tall and thin, with longer arms and legs than a normal person. Skin had a pale, almost translucent quality, and seemed to glow very faintly in the darkness. The creature's eyes were closed, but Maya could see they were larger than human eyes. There was no visible injury, but the being wasn't moving. Maya stood there for a long moment, trying to understand what she was seeing. This was first contact, the moment that humans had been imagining for centuries. It wasn't happening in some official government facility with teams of experts. It was happening here, in a quiet forest, with just her as a witness. She knew she should call someone, report what she had found. But something held her back. The being looked so peaceful, so vulnerable. If she called the authorities, what would happen? Would they treat this visitor with respect, or would they see it as something to be studied and tested? Maya made a decision. That would change everything. She reached into the craft and gently checked if the being was still alive. She could feel a pulse, different from a human heartbeat, but definitely the sign of life. The creature was breathing, but very slowly, without really thinking about the consequences. Maya carefully lifted the being from the craft. It was surprisingly light, and its skin felt warm to the touch. She carried it away from the crash site, back through the forest toward her small cabin near the research station. As she walked, Maya realized her life would never be the same. She was carrying the most important discovery in human history, and she had chosen to protect it rather than report it. Whether this decision was right or wrong, she couldn't say. But something deep inside told her that this being deserved care and compassion, not cold scientific study. The stars above seemed to watch as Maya carried her mysterious visitor home, beginning a friendship that would reach across the cosmos and change the fate of two worlds forever. Maya's hands were shaking as she gently placed the unconscious being on her couch. The small cabin felt different now, like it was holding the biggest secret in the world. She had covered the windows with thick blankets and turned on every lamp she owned, but the place still felt dark and mysterious. The being lay very still, breathing so slowly that Maya had to keep checking to make sure it was still alive. She had brought her medical kit from the research station, but she had no idea what might help an alien body. For now, she just watched and waited, sitting in her old wooden chair with a cup of tea growing cold in her hands. Hours passed, and the morning sun began to filter through the cracks in the blankets. Maya had barely slept, too excited and scared to close her eyes. She kept thinking about what she had done. By now, someone at the research station would notice that she wasn't at her post. She would have to come up with an explanation for why. She had left her equipment running all night. Around 8 in the morning, something changed. The being's breathing became faster, and its fingers started to move slightly. Maya leaned forward, her heart pounding. She had wondered if this moment would ever come, and now she didn't know what to do. The creature's eyes opened slowly, and Maya gasped. They were the most beautiful eyes she had ever seen, large and dark like deep pools of water. When those eyes focused on her, the being suddenly jerked backward, making a sound that was part fear and part confusion. Maya raised her hands slowly, trying to show that she meant no harm. "It's okay," she said softly, even though she knew the being probably couldn't understand her words. "You're safe. I'm not going to hurt you." The creature looked around the cabin wildly, clearly trying to figure out where it was. Tried to sit up but seemed weak and dizzy. Maya could see that it was scared, and her heart went out to this lost visitor from another world. She moved very slowly, reaching for a glass of water on the nearby table. The being watched her every movement with those large, intelligent eyes. Maya held up the glass and pointed to her own mouth, then took a small sip to show that it was safe. The alien tilted its head, studying Maya's actions. After a moment, it reached out with one long, graceful hand. Maya carefully placed the glass in its palm, and the creature brought it to its lips. It drank slowly, and Maya saw some of the tension leave its body. "Good," Maya said, smiling. Water is good for everyone, I guess. The being looked at her curiously when she spoke. It opened its mouth and made a series of soft sounds that were almost musical. Maya had no idea what it was trying to say, but she could hear the intelligence in those sounds. Maya pointed to herself and said clearly, "Maya." Then she pointed to the being and waited. The alien watched her for a moment, then pointed to itself and made a sound that was like a gentle breeze through leaves. Maya tried to repeat it, but her human voice couldn't make the same soft tones. "I'll call you Kira," Maya said, choosing a name that sounded somewhat like the alien's own sounds. "Is that okay?" Kira tilted her head again, and Maya decided to take that as agreement. They spent the next few hours in the strangest conversation Maya had ever had. She would point to objects around the cabin and say their names clearly. Kira would repeat the sounds, and Maya was amazed at how quickly the alien learned. "Table," Maya said, touching the wooden surface. "Table," Kira repeated, her voice soft and musical. Maya continued, patting the arm of her seat. "Chair," Kira said, getting closer to the right sound. By afternoon, Kira was beginning to understand simple words. Maya brought her food, pointing to each item and saying its name. Kira was careful about what she ate, sniffing everything first. She seemed to like fruit and vegetables, but avoided meat completely. As the day went on, Maya noticed that Kira was getting stronger. She could sit up without help, and her eyes were becoming more alert. But Maya also saw that her new friend was worried about something. Kira would sometimes look toward the window with a sad expression, as if she was missing something important. Maya found paper and pencils and showed Kira how to draw. The alien's face lit up with understanding, and she began to sketch with surprising skill. Her first drawing was of the night sky, with stars and planets scattered across the page. Then she drew what looked like a group of figures standing together. "Family?" Maya asked, pointing to the drawing. Kira nodded and made those soft musical sounds again. But this time, Maya could hear sadness in her voice. The alien pointed to the figures in the drawing, then to herself, then toward the window. Maya began to understand that Kira wasn't alone when she came to Earth. "Others?" Maya asked, holding up the drawing. "More like you?" Kira nodded eagerly and started drawing faster. She sketched what looked like other spacecraft, and Maya realized, with growing concern, that Kira's crash hadn't been an accident. Something had gone wrong with their mission. Kira was separated from her people. The alien drew a picture of Earth from space, then showed several small objects approaching it. She pointed to one of the objects and then to herself, making it clear that she was in one of those ships. Then she drew lines showing the ships scattering in different directions. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. If there were other aliens somewhere on Earth, they might be hurt or lost, just like Kira had been. But how could she help find them without revealing the secret she was keeping? As evening came, Maya made a simple dinner for both of them. Kira watched everything Maya did with intense curiosity, as if she was trying to learn about human culture. When Maya turned on the radio, Kira's eyes went wide with wonder at the music. "Music," Maya said, moving her hands in rhythm with the song. Kira listened carefully and began to hum along in her own musical language. Sound was beautiful, like nothing Maya had ever heard before. It was clear that Kira's people had their own form of music, and it was as lovely as her voice. That night, Maya gave Kira her own bed and slept on the couch. She lay there in the darkness. She thought about how much her life had changed in just one day. She had gone from being a lonely scientist listening to empty space to being the friend and protector of a visitor from another world. But Maya also knew that this was just the beginning. Kira was looking for her people, and Maya had promised to help her. Tomorrow, she would have to figure out how to search for other aliens without anyone discovering her secret. It seemed impossible, but looking at Kira sleeping peacefully in her bed, Maya knew she had to try. The bond between them was growing stronger every hour, built on trust and kindness despite the vast differences between their worlds. Maya had no idea that this friendship would soon become something that would change the fate of both their peoples forever. Outside, the stars continued their ancient dance across the sky, holding secrets that Maya and Kira would soon uncover together. 3 days had passed since Kira first opened her eyes in Maya's cabin, and their friendship had grown in ways Maya never thought possible. What started as simple word exchanges had become deep conversations, even though Kira's English was still broken and filled with pauses as she searched for the right words. Maya woke up that morning to find Kira sitting by the window, staring at the sunrise with a look of wonder on her face. The alien had removed the blanket covering the glass and was watching the golden light spread across the mountain peaks. "Beautiful," Kira said softly, one of the first words she had learned. "Your star ... very warm." Maya smiled and sat down beside her friend. "We call it the sun. You have a sun where you come from?" Kira nodded, but her expression grew sad. "Yes, but dying, getting cold, my people." "What?" "We look for new home." She struggled with the words, her hands moving as if they could help her explain better. Maya felt her heart sink. She had wondered why beings from another world would come to Earth, and now she understood. Kira's people weren't just exploring the universe for fun. They were running out of time, looking for a place where they could survive. "Long do you have?" Maya asked gently. Kira held up her fingers, trying to count in human numbers. "Maybe ... 10 of your years, maybe less." She looked at Maya with those large, expressive eyes. "My people very scared, very tired from long journey." Maya reached out and took Kira's hand. The alien's skin was smooth and slightly cool to the touch, but Maya could feel the life and warmth beneath it. "I'm sorry," she said. "That must be very difficult." Kira squeezed Maya's hand gently. "You are a kind person, Maya. Most humans, we watch from far away. They fight much. We think maybe humans not want to help." This revelation hit Maya like a cold wind. "You've been watching us?" "Time," Kira nodded. "My people careful. Oh, we see wars, violence. We think maybe humans dangerous to us." She paused, looking directly at Maya. "But you ... you different. You help me when I hurt. You give food, water, safe place. You show me kindness." Maya felt a mix of pride and shame. She was proud that she had shown Kira humanity's better side, but ashamed that her species had given the aliens reason to fear them. "Not all humans are bad," she said. "Many of us want peace. We want to learn and grow." Kira smiled, and Maya noticed how the expression transformed her alien features, making her look almost human. "I know now. You teach me this." Over the next few hours, Maya showed Kira more of human culture. She played different types of music on her old radio, from classical to folk songs. Kira listened to everything with fascination, sometimes humming along in her own musical language. When Maya played a sad song, Kira's eyes filled with tears, showing that emotions were universal. Even across species, Maya brought out photo albums from her childhood, showing Kira pictures of her family and friends. The alien studied each photo carefully, asking questions about human relationships and customs. When Maya showed her a picture of her grandmother, the same one who had told her stories about the stars, Kira touched the photo gently. "She looked wise," Kira said, "like elders." "Of my people, she was," Maya replied. "She taught me to love the stars. In a way, she led me to you." Kira's eyes widened with understanding. Maybe ... maybe this meant to happen. Maybe stars bring us together for reason. As the day continued, Maya noticed something that worried her. Kira seemed to be getting weaker instead of stronger. Her skin, which had been glowing faintly when Maya first found her, was becoming duller. The alien moved more slowly and seemed tired even after resting. "Are you feeling okay?" Maya asked, trying to keep the concern out of her voice. Kira hesitated. Before answering, "I am ... how you say, not fitting with your world. Air different. Food different. My body needs things from my home." Maya felt panic rising in her chest. "What kind of things? Maybe I can help you find them." Kira shook her head sadly. "Not possible. My people, we need special air, special plants. Without them..." Double quotes. She didn't finish the sentence, but Maya understood. "Long can you survive here?" Maya asked, dreading the answer. "Maybe a few weeks, maybe less." Kira's voice was calm, but Maya could see the fear in her eyes. "This is why I must find my team. They have medicine, special equipment. Without them, I will. Maya couldn't let her finish that thought. Then we'll find them. I promise you, Kira. We'll find your people. That evening, Maya made a decision that she knew would change everything. She had been thinking about it all day, weighing the risks against the possibility of saving her friend's life. She couldn't do this alone anymore. Kira, she said carefully, I need to use the equipment at my workplace to search for your people. But that means other humans might find out about you. Kira was quiet for a long moment, staring into the small fire Maya had built in the fireplace. You think they will hurt me? I don't know, Maya answered honestly. Might want to study you, treat you like a science experiment. Others might be afraid. But without better equipment, I can't find your team in time. Kira nodded slowly. I understand you risk much for me already. Your career, your life. Maybe now you must risk more. Maya felt tears forming in her eyes. In just a few days, this alien had become more than a friend. She had become like a sister, someone Maya would do anything to protect. You're worth the risk, Kira, you've shown me that friendship can exist between any two beings, no matter how different they are. Kira reached out and touched Maya's face gently. You saved my life when you find me. Now you try to save it again. My people have word for this. It means heart friend, someone who shares your spirit. Heart friend, Maya repeated, feeling the weight and beauty of the word. I like that. That night, as they prepared for what might be their most dangerous day yet, Maya realized that their bond had become something special. It wasn't just friendship between two individuals anymore. It was a bridge between two worlds, two species that had found common ground in kindness and understanding. Maya looked out at the stars, thinking about Kira's dying world and the desperate people who had traveled so far looking for hope. Noah. She would risk everything to help her friend. She would use the research station's powerful equipment to search for the other aliens, even if it meant exposing the greatest secret in human history. As Kira slept, Maya stayed awake, planning their next move. She didn't know if she was brave enough for what lay ahead, but she knew she had to try. The bond between them had become stronger than fear, stronger than the vast distances between their worlds. Outside, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if they were watching over to friends who had found each other across the impossible darkness of space. The next morning arrived too quickly for Maya's liking. She had barely slept, her mind racing with plans and worries about what they were about to do. Kira looked even weaker than the night before, her skin pale and her movements slow. Time was running out, and Maya knew they had to act fast. You ready for this? Maya asked as she helped Kira put on one of her old coats. The alien's tall, thin frame made the clothes look strange, but from a distance she might pass for human if no one looked too closely. Kira nodded, though Maya could see the effort it took for her to stay upright. I trust you, heart friend. We find my people today. Maya had called in sick to work, which would give them access to the research station when most of the staff wouldn't be there. She had the security codes and knew exactly which equipment they needed. The plan was simple in theory, but terrifying in practice. They drove to the research station in Maya's old truck, taking back roads to avoid being seen. Kira sat quietly in the passenger seat, her large eyes taking in the human world around her. Despite her weakness, she seemed fascinated by everything from road signs to passing birds. Your people build much, Kira observed, pointing to a distant town. Always moving, always busy. Sometimes too busy, Maya replied. We forget to look up at the stars like you do. The research station looked empty when they arrived, just as Maya had hoped. She parked behind the main building and helped Kira out of the truck. The alien stumbled slightly, and Maya caught her arm to steady her. I'm okay, Kira said, but Maya could hear the strain in her voice. Inside the control room, Maya quickly activated the powerful radio telescope and began adjusting the settings. Kira sat in a chair nearby, watching the screens with growing excitement as the equipment came online. This machine very strong, Kira said, her eyes wide with admiration. Can hear whispers from far stars. That's exactly what we need, Maya replied, her fingers flying over the keyboard. Now, can you remember the frequency your people used to communicate? Kira closed her eyes and hummed softly, the same musical sounds Maya had heard before. Then she tried to translate the tones into numbers, drawing symbols on a piece of paper that looked nothing like human mathematics. Maya studied the symbols, trying to understand the alien numbering system. It took several attempts, but slowly. She began to decode what Kira was showing her. The frequency was much higher than anything humans normally used, almost beyond what their equipment could detect. "There," Maya said, adjusting the settings one more time. "If your people are out there, we should be able to hear them." For the first hour, they heard nothing but static and the usual cosmic background noise. Kira grew more anxious with each passing minute, her hands trembling slightly as she helped Maya adjust the search parameters. "Maybe they too far," Kira said sadly. "Maybe they think I am lost forever." "Don't give up yet," Maya encouraged her. "We've barely started looking." Then, just as Maya was beginning to lose hope herself, they heard it. A faint signal, almost lost in the static, but definitely artificial. It was the same musical pattern that Kira used when she spoke in her own language. "That's them." "Kira!" exclaimed, jumping up from her chair with more energy than Maya had seen from her in days. "That's my people." Maya quickly triangulated the signal's location using the station's powerful computers. The source was about 50 miles away high, in the mountains where few humans ever went. But as they listened longer, Maya noticed something troubling. "The signal is getting weaker," she said, pointing to the readouts on her screen. Kira's face fell as she realized what this meant. "They in trouble. Like me, they getting sick from your world. We must go to them now." Maya looked at the mountain location on her computer screen. It would be a difficult journey even for healthy people, and Kira could barely walk without help. But Maya also knew they had no choice. "We'll need supplies," Maya said, already making a mental list. "Food, water, medical equipment, warm clothes. And we'll have to hike the last part because there are no roads up there." "I can make journey," Kira said firmly, though Maya could see the doubt in her eyes. "My people need me. I cannot fail them." Maya spent the next hour gathering everything they might need for the mountain trek. She packed her camping gear first, aid supplies, and even some of the electronic equipment from the research station that might help them communicate with the aliens. As they prepared to leave, Maya noticed a car pulling into the parking lot. Her heart sank as she recognized her supervisor, Dr. Chen, getting out of the vehicle. "Someone's here," Maya whispered urgently. "We need to go. Now." But it was too late. Dr. Chen was already walking toward the building, and there was no way for them to leave without being seen. Maya made a quick decision that would change everything. "Kira, hide in the supply closet," she said quickly. "Whatever happens, don't come out until I say it's safe." Kira nodded and disappeared into the small room, just as Dr. Chen entered the control room. The older woman looked surprised to see Maya there. "Maya? I thought you called him sick today," Dr. Chen said, her eyes scanning the equipment that was still running. "I was feeling better, so I came in to check on the overnight recordings." Maya lied, hoping her voice sounded normal. Dr. Chen looked at the screens, which were still showing the signal from Kira's people. "What's this frequency? I've never seen a pattern like this before." Maya's mind raced. She had to get Dr. Chen away from the equipment before she realized what they had discovered. It's probably just interference from a satellite. I was about to shut it down. But Dr. Chen was too experienced to be fooled. She studied the pattern more carefully, and Maya could see the exact moment when she realized what she was looking at. "Maya," Dr. Chen said slowly, "this isn't interference. This is an artificial signal. This is what we've been searching for all these years." Maya felt her world crumbling around her. In trying to save Kira, she had revealed the greatest secret in human history to someone who would never let it stay hidden. "Dr. Chen, I can explain," Maya started, but the older woman was already reaching for the phone. "I need to call the director." Immediately, Dr. Chen said, her voice filled with excitement. "This is first contact, Maya. This changes everything." Looked toward the supply closet where Kira was hiding, knowing that her friend's life now hung in the balance. The search for Kira's people had become something much more dangerous, and Maya realized that their greatest challenge was just beginning. The signal from the mountains continued to fade, marking the passing of precious time that Kira and her people didn't have. Maya had to make a choice that would affect not just her own future, but the future of two entire species. Outside, storm clouds were gathering over the mountains, as if the weather itself knew that everything was about to change. Maya's heart pounded as she watched Dr. Chen reach for the phone. In that moment, she knew she had to make the most important decision of her life. Without thinking, she stepped forward and gently placed her hand on the phone, stopping her supervisor from making the call. To-chan, please wait, Maya said, her voice shaking. There's something you need to know first. The older woman looked at Maya with confusion and growing concern. What's going on here, Maya? You're acting very strange. Maya took a deep breath and made her choice. I need to show you something. But first I need your promise that you'll listen to the whole story before you do anything. Dr. Chen hesitated, clearly sensing that whatever Maya was about to reveal would change everything. I promise, she said quietly. Maya walked to the supply closet and opened the door. Kira, it's... Okay, you can come out now. Kira emerged slowly, her tall, graceful form immediately obvious as something not quite human. Dr. Chen gasped and stepped backward, her eyes wide with shock and wonder. This is Kira, Maya said, moving to stand beside her alien friend. Been staying with me for the past few days. She's hurt, and she needs our help. Dr. Chen stared at Kira for a long moment, her scientific mind trying to process what she was seeing. You're really from another world, she whispered. Kira nodded, her large eyes filled with both hope and fear. I am sorry to frighten you, she said in her soft, musical voice. Maya has been very kind to me. She'll save my life. How long has she been here? Dr. Chen asked, never taking her eyes off Kira. 5 days, Maya replied. I found her after her. Ship crashed in the forest. She was hurt and alone, and I couldn't just leave her there. Dr. Chen slowly sat down in a chair as if her legs couldn't support her anymore. This is incredible. This is what we've been searching for our entire careers. But Maya, why didn't you report this? Why didn't you tell anyone? Maya looked at Kira, who gave her an encouraging nod. Because I was afraid of what would happen to her. She's not some specimen to be studied, Dr. Chen. She's a person, with feelings and fears and hopes just like us. My people are dying, Kira added quietly. Our world grows cold. We come here looking for a new home, but we are afraid. We watch humans from far away, see much violence. We think maybe humans will hurt us if they know we are here. Dr. Chen's expression softened as she listened to Kira's words. But you trusted Maya? Maya showed me kindness when I was hurt and scared, Kira replied. She gave me food, a safe place. Friendship. She teach me that not all humans are dangerous. She is what you call ... good person. Felt tears forming in her eyes. Dr. Chen, that signal we picked up? It's from Kira's people. They're stranded in the mountains, and they're dying just like she is. Earth's environment is slowly killing them. We were trying to find them so we could help. Dr. Chen looked at the computer screens where the signal from the mountains was still visible but growing weaker. How many of them are there? Not many, Kira said sadly.
Oh.
Maybe 20 of my people came in small ships.
We are scouts.
Sent to see if your world is a safe place for our families. And now you're all trapped here? Dr. Chen said, understanding. Dawning in her voice, Maya nodded. That's why we need to get to the mountains. We need to find them before it's too late. Dr. Chen was quiet for a long moment, clearly struggling with the magnitude of what she had learned. Finally, she stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the mountains in the distance. If I report this, she said slowly, what do you think will happen to Kira and her people? Maya felt a chill run down her spine. I think they'll be taken away, studied, maybe never allowed to go home. And if we don't report it and try to help them ourselves, then maybe we can save them, Maya said. Maybe we can show them that humans can be trusted. Maybe we can be the bridge between our worlds. Dr. Chen turned back to face them, and Maya was surprised to see tears in her supervisor's eyes. My daughter is about your age, Maya. If she were lost and alone on another world, I would hope that someone would show her the same kindness you've shown Kira. Maya felt hope rising in her chest. Does that mean you'll help us? Dr. Chen nodded. Firmly, it means I'll help you. But we need to move fast. That signal is getting weaker, and we don't have much time. The three of them quickly gathered supplies and loaded Maya's truck. Dr. Chen brought additional medical equipment and camping gear from the research station, while Maya helped Kira into warm clothes for the mountain journey. As they drove toward the mountains, Dr. Chen asked Kira about her home world and her people. Kira described a beautiful planet with purple skies and silver seas, where her people lived in harmony with nature. But she also spoke of the growing cold, the dying plants, and the desperate search for a new home. How many people are left on your world? Dr. Chen asked. Maybe few million, Kira replied. Not many, compared to humans. We are peaceful people. We never hurt anyone. We just want to survive. The mountain road was rough and dangerous, especially with the storm clouds gathering. Overhead, Maya drove carefully, knowing that one wrong move could send them tumbling down the steep slopes. In the back seat, Kira grew weaker with each passing mile. After 3 hours of difficult driving, they reached the end of the road. From here, they would have to hike through the forest to reach the location where the signal was coming from. Maya looked at Kira, who could barely stand without help. I can make it, Kira said, reading the concern in Maya's eyes. My people need me. The hike was the most difficult thing Maya had ever done. The trail was steep and rocky, and they had to carry all their equipment on their backs. Kira stumbled frequently, but she never complained or asked to rest. Finally, after 2 hours of climbing, they reached a small clearing where 2 more alien craft had crash-landed. The ships were damaged but not destroyed, and Maya could see movement inside one of them. Kira, came a weak voice from the nearest ship. An alien figure emerged, looking even more frail than Kira. The two beings embraced, speaking rapidly in their musical language. This is Zara, Kira said, introducing the other alien to Maya and Dr. Chen. She is my teacher, my guide. She is very sick. Dr. Chen immediately began examining Zara with her medical equipment, while Maya explored the crashed ships. What she found made her heart sink. There were only 3 aliens left alive, and all of them were dying from Earth's toxic environment. We need to get them home, Maya said urgently. Do any of the ships still work? Kira shook her head sadly. Ships too damaged, cannot fly. We sent message to our world, but rescue will take many days, maybe weeks. We do not have that much time, Maya felt desperate. They had come so far, only to find that they might not be able to save anyone. But then Dr. Chen called out from where she was working on the damaged ships. Maya, Kira, come here quickly. They rushed over to find Dr. Chen examining a device that looked like a combination of crystal and metal. This is some kind of communication array, she said excitedly. If we can boost its power using our equipment, we might be able to send a stronger signal to their home world. Working together, they connected the alien device to the portable radio equipment Maya had brought from the research station. Kira and Zara operated the alien controls, while Maya and Dr. Chen handled the human technology. As the sun set behind the mountains, a powerful beam of light shot up from their makeshift antenna, piercing the darkening sky. The signal was so strong that it made the air around them shimmer and sparkle. Message sent, Kira said weakly. Now we wait. Spent the night in the clearing, taking turns caring for the sick aliens and watching the sky for any sign of rescue. Maya held Kira's hand as her friend grew weaker, both of them knowing that time was running out. Just as the first light of dawn appeared, a new star seemed to bloom in the sky. It grew brighter and larger until they could see that it was a ship. Unlike anything humans had ever built, the rescue vessel landed silently in the clearing, its hull glowing with soft, beautiful light. Several aliens emerged from the ship, immediately rushing to help their dying comrades. They worked with incredible skill and speed, using devices that seemed to heal with light and sound. As Kira was carried toward the rescue ship, she looked back at Maya with tears in her large eyes. Thank you, heart friend, she whispered. Save not just me, but all my people. The alien leader approached Maya and Dr. Chen, speaking in the same musical language. Kira translated weakly from her stretcher. She says, "They are grateful. They want to give you a gift. Something to remember friendship between our worlds." The leader handed Maya a small crystal that seemed to contain a tiny star. When Maya touched it, she could hear faint music, like the sound of Kira's voice singing across the vastness of space. "This will let you speak with me," Kira said, "across the stars. Our friendship will never end." As the ship prepared to leave, the alien leader spoke again. This time, Kira's translation made Maya's heart soar. She says, "My people will remember kindness you showed. When we find new home, we will send message. Maybe someday our peoples can be friends. Maybe we can help each other among the stars." The ship rose silently into the morning sky, carrying Kira and her people back to safety. Maya watched until it disappeared, clutching the crystal communication device in her hand. Months later, Maya received her first message from Kira. Her friend had survived the journey home and was helping.